Hello and welcome everyone to King Bear Studios. The world is in a little bit of a different situation now. I'd like to start off by saying I think I'm smart. I'm definitely not dumb, but I don't think I'm always educated on everything that's happening all the time around the world. No excuses to that. I have my own mental health shit that I worry about, and I kind of trust new news articles to come out to give me a summary of things, and then I then have to go in and then make decisions myself. That's kind of my process. I figure why not dive into it and really educate myself with what's been going on. So this is episode 101 of the Corona Chronicles. How did we get here? So let's start off with what the fuck is the coronavirus? The coronavirus. Virus is the Dragon Ball Z thing. I'm not racist. Coronavirus is actually a family name of a group of different viruses. Viruses that have made the jump from animal to human, I believe. If not, definitely 7 of them definitely have at least, and they have been named the coronavirus family. Most of them are kind of only give us like very cold like symptoms, not even flu like symptoms. So none of them are that bad. A few of them you may know is SARS, which is severe acute respiratory syndrome, and MERS, which is Middle East respiratory syndrome. And I didn't know that. I've heard about SARS and MERS as a kid more so, like what was it, like 2003, 4ish, maybe earlier, but give or take. I remember, seeing in the news as a kid with everyone in like China and that part of the world wearing the face masks, and I heard it was bad, but the country was never like locked down or anything, right? Like the country was still open. We still did all of our things. We were just scared, but we still did everything. When SARS, MERS, I remember even like when anthrax was like, it'll kill you. Everyone was like, it's fine. Don't worry about it. It's only a few people. So I don't know if it's because of the times back then or just the severity of those cases. I didn't expect, and I guess nobody expected, that this coronavirus was going to spread like it did. Where did it all start off, right? So if you go to telegraph.co.uk, that's my site for this. Speaking of the coronavirus, it speaks about how they believe the source came from a wet market in Wuhan, China. A wet market, if you don't know, is a kind of like an indoor or an outdoor. It doesn't really matter, but it's like an open market where you can usually get like fruits and vegetables, where they're selling those kind of things, like little knickknacks. But a wet market specifically is where they sell alive and dead like animal meats and stuff like that, and they're usually butchered within pretty close, relatively close quarters. Maybe it came from a bat, but they don't think that like a bat was sold there or anything like that. I mean, maybe they do sell bats there, but that's not what they think. They think that maybe it transmitted the disease into chicken, biting a chicken or trying to attack a chicken, and then the chicken then transmitting it over to us. China's received some criticism from the U.S. talking about how the U.S. stating that China wasn't, number one, transparent enough in the results or the severe or the impact of the coronavirus over there, and that China didn't react well enough to the coronavirus, reaching up to 80, almost 90,000 cases, I think, or more. I don't know. It's probably more. There's about 195,000 worldwide cases now. I don't know if this number is fully updated yet. It says right here, usually when it gets updated, but like it is, for those not watching, I'm zooming in like the Texas area, and there are still some places that aren't popping up. But it says as of right now, China's at about 81,000 confirmed cases. China kind of took that criticism not good, to where the China government spokesperson says U.S. military may have brought virus to China. This is on U.S. News and through Reuters, Beijing. Let me pull it up here so y'all can read it. And for those only listening along, I'll read it out for you. Beijing, a spokesman for China's foreign ministry suggested on Thursday that the U.S. military might have brought the coronavirus to the Chinese city of Wuhan, which has been hardest hit by the outbreak, doubling down on a war of words with Washington. So they're basically saying that, oh, well, fuck you. It was the U.S. Maybe y'all fucking brought it over because y'all already, trying to be in wars with us with everything else. And I don't know how much that stands on. It sounds very conspiratorial. Could be the fucking truth. The U.S. has done some crazy shit now. I don't know. That's not something necessarily I believe. Now, all of that kind of brings us back to us, right? So that's a little bit of a background, kind of, very high level. Now, it brings us back to here. So when the outbreak in Wuhan was starting in late 2019, of course, there was traveling, and especially later in the year, there's a lot of holiday travel. There's Christmas and different religious holidays and just travel and business and seeing family and friends. One of the scariest things about this disease is that you don't notice you have any symptoms yet when you do have it. So, and especially if you're younger, if you're around my age, I'm 28. So if you're relatively young and you could possibly have the disease and not even know it because you don't show any symptoms. And because of this is one of the reasons it got transmitted so quickly and so bad, because no one knew you were sick. You felt fine. You didn't need to go to a doctor. You didn't ask for one. You just went about your business. So all of these people unknowingly infecting all of their friends, all of their family, their doctors, their co-workers. That's how it got over here back to the U.S. There's a cruise liner ship that had to stay docked for a while, I think, while all these people were getting tested for it. All so much now to where there's a travel ban between the U.S. and a few countries. I think a few countries were just added a little bit ago. Another scary thing about this disease is that it's an airborne disease. So it's not like sexually transmitted or like IV. Yeah, you have to touch their blood or just go into your bloodstream or anything like that. Completely 100% airborne disease. It being an airborne disease, there's a few things that we can do to be as safe as possible. Wash your hands consistently. When you're interacting with things, especially if you're going to public places, wash your hands. Try not to touch your face. Face masks are most helpful. But one of the biggest things you can do right now that will help is social distancing. Let me tell you why that's one of the most frustrating parts. At least for me, I don't know if anybody can relate. As of like started about last week, like when things kind of started boiling, right? It was like, oh shit, this is kind of a big deal. Maybe it's not close to me, but it's I grew up in that state. I was born in that state. It's crazy. So things started kind of boiling up, and then I saw people on social media posting like, "Oh, I don't give a fuck. The virus can't kill me." La da da X, Y, and Z. And it's kind of funny. Like it was memeish for a minute. But then over the last couple of days where it's gotten really, really bad, where we're closing down restaurants and bars and like gyms and schools, like we just confirmed, I think today, or maybe over the last couple of days. But I follow the DISD one a lot. Shout out to Texas Latino Media. They post a lot of stuff on there. And then so I've been getting updates about even the DISD shutting down. So it's been getting pretty bad, but back to what's frustrating me is that I have friends and acquaintances that are still going out and still could be either getting infected or accidentally infecting other people just to go out and have a drink or like, oh man, I really needed that steak. That steak was worth it. Like I saw that today. Like, even though the whole, we're trying to quarantine to stop this, there's a handful of people that are going out to restaurants and, posting like, oh, it's totally worth it and all this stuff. And I get it, right? Like, oh, it's just me. There's not gonna be anybody else there, la da da. But it's still a very selfish thing to do, and that only hurts. It doesn't help. Social distancing, just do it. Stop being fucking selfish. Stop being entitled enough to go have a burger or a beer somewhere. If you want beer, fucking either get it delivered or go buy it when you can. But I don't think you have to go to a bar, right? Sorry, I lost myself there because I was giving I got opinionated there for a second about the social distancing. It was just very frustrating to see. Now, those vulnerable to this disease, we all know that it's elders and people with like underlying autoimmune diseases and things like that. But one thing I didn't know, and I'm gonna bring it up here to the full screen so y'all can see it, and those that are only listening, I'll read it out for you. It says some of the vulnerable. Now, I don't have a site for this. I don't know how real this is or true it is. Now, I'm also not dumb, so I think this definitely has some credibility. Just don't hold me to that because I haven't, cited it. Now, some of the vulnerable people who are on blood thinners, recently pregnant, high blood pressure, immune suppressed for autoimmune diseases, blood disorders, liver diseases, diabetes, asthma, mast cell disease, heart disease, people over 60, of course, people who are going through cancer treatments, CVID, kidney disease, and a few others. I'll leave that up there for a minute. Now, this was surprising because the very middle one, the top one, says people on blood thinners, and I'm on blood thinners because I'm on antidepressants. I'm on SSRIs. Apparently, this makes me one of the vulnerable. Now, I'm still doing a pretty good job of self-isolating, and I'm going to be. Being diagnosed with PTSD, I've gotten really good at not wanting to be around people or crowds, so I just Amazon delivers all my groceries, all my cat food and stuff for, Narbones. So I'm good. They deliver clothes. I don't need to leave, right? So I'm good. I don't think that it's something we need to freak out about at all, but I do think it's something we have to be responsible about. And that maybe that's where my frustrations of people who feel entitled don't have to just go out and have a beer. But no, it's not a big deal. But if we don't pay the bills, if we don't do what we have to do, then shit's going to get fucked up, and then we're going to have to deal with a bigger problem. Why do that? Why do that and just be responsible, hang out at home for a couple of weeks? And it's not like it's not like we're locked down, right? You can go out and do whatever the fuck you want to do. This is just be a kind and smart human and try not to cause more problems than there currently are. That's all I'm getting at. Another thing of help, if y'all didn't know, now I'm in the Texas area, DFW area, so this might not relate to anybody in another state listening, but shout out to Shelbyzlebowl, SHELBEELZEBOUL for this information. But for the Texas Workforce Commission, for people who are working like as servers or things like that might be possibly losing their job because of the shutdown, you can go to the TWC website and apply for something called a DUA. It's called a Disaster Unemployment Assistance. And it's supposed to do just that. While there's natural disasters, you getting still financial assistance while the disaster is happening. Now, a few hours ago, the president and a few others were just talking about the stimulus package. I don't know if that just got passed. I think I was reading that it did, but it might have changed. You know how things go. So that'll help, but also the DUA, Disaster Unemployment Assistance, is a really cool thing. Thanks, Shelbyzlebowl, for posting that. And that's about where we're at right now, right? I think things are getting real serious, especially, and in my area, there aren't a lot of people who are affected or sick. I think that at last I checked, there's like 6 or 7, and I don't think it has gone to the double digits yet. And when I say my area, I mean my county. I know I don't live in exactly Dallas, DFW, but I live close enough, but in a different county. And in my county, again, I still think there are single digit people infected. So that's a good thing. I definitely don't want to be around it, but it is still spreading. We're still getting news of surrounding counties and towns getting new cases of the disease and people going to the hospital, which sucks. So everyone, please be safe. Try to stay at home. That's what I'm going to be doing. Me and my cat are going to be chilling. I'm going to be filming a lot of these. Next episode, I think I might dive into a little bit more of how it's affecting everything else, like the country and like our jobs, because I think now that we're undergoing a big lockdown, more people will be affected by it, and I need to educate myself on it, because if I don't do this, I'm not going to. If you have any questions about anything, please leave a comment or ask me. Shoot me a message, shoot me a DM. If you're concerned, if there's something I can look up for you, maybe help, let us know. Thanks at Shelbyzlebowl for that info. It's really appreciative. She posts a lot of stuff for assistance. Follow her too. And yeah, that's it for now. I'll catch you guys on the next Corona Chronicles. Peace.